Right, so for today's video, we definitely have a genre that we have never covered on this channel, and the main reason why I know that, because, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe we have spoke about it before, I'm not sure. I definitely know we haven't, because, quite frankly, I didn't even know what this was. But today we are talking about au pair drama. So the way I understand it, using examples from the situation we're talking about today, there is a person who might be from the United States, like we're talking about today, who might go over to a different country, like Italy, like we're talking about today, to live with a family that needs help, like looking after their child whilst they're working or whatnot. And in exchange of helping out, you have a roof over your head, you have food, and you have money on top of that. So now that we've clarified the basic outline of this story, let me introduce you to the main person we're talking about today. So it's a TikToker called Ella Catherine with 75,000 followers. Ella has recently uploaded a number of videos giving a bit of a story time of a situation happened recently being an au pair. Also, quick disclaimer, I feel like I am pronouncing that wrong, but every person I've seen like say it, they're American, and every time I go to like say it like them, I'm like, I'm just replicating an American accent here, and it sounds weird in my voice. So I do apologize if I'm saying it slightly wrong. Ella recently went over to Italy to be an au pair for a family, obviously, in Italy and help out with their kid. And she was kind of like vlogging this experience until it started going wrong, and it actually started with this video right here that is currently on 20 million views in just a few days, and as we can see, it says, sneaking out of my host family's house in Italy. Now, this video in particular is very vague. We don't really know many details at this point, but this is what the video was.
Out of my host family's house. Let's go. It's 5:43 a.m. Oh my gosh, I'm literally shaking. That was the scariest thing ever. I couldn't figure out how to get past the gate, but I got it. And carrying all these bags.
Okay, so straight away, we can see that Ella is in a situation where she feels like she needs to sneak out of this house in Italy at 5 a.m. She said that it was the scariest thing ever, she didn't know how to get past the gates and whatnot, and now she's making her way to the airport. Now again, we don't really know the situation at this point, but I mean, it seems serious, right? I mean, the vast majority of people in the comment section are like asking questions and wondering like how serious this is. Like, why did she feel like she had to sneak out at 5 a.m. without anyone seeing? And I think this original video is kind of the main reason why Ella is getting a bit of criticism or like hate, whatever you want to call it, as we'll see later on, because obviously a lot of people took this original video as something serious had happened, right? And as we get through the video and Ella's explaining the story, there is a lot of stuff in there where we're like, oh, that is very shitty for her, right? But I feel like a lot of people expected it to be something completely different from this original video, so when it wasn't that, it then became this big situation, but that'll make more sense later. So now looking at the comments in this video, there's a lot of people just asking questions, right? And wondering what's happened here. Like, there's this comment here saying, I'm glad you're out, but what the heck happened? I'm so confused. Were you all kidnapped? Why does everyone have to sneak out? Scrolling down and seeing you got there 5 days ago. What did they do to you? Oh my god. Now, there is also a lot of comments that have been made since the story time has been posted, right? So these comments are referring to stuff that we found out at a later date, and the vibe of the comment section has definitely changed, right? Like, the biggest comments on this video now is from the story times that were posted later, like this one saying, let me save you all some time, she didn't learn the language, she went expecting a vacation, she didn't create a contract. Really, there is no horror story about this, just unrealistic expectations. Another comment here saying, watch the full story time, she was in the wrong, she just didn't understand them, so she left. And when I originally watched this video, the story time had kind of already been posted, right? I caught this video a couple of days later. So when I'm reading the comment section, I'm seeing the difference in comments, right? I'm seeing a lot of people like really worried, and then comments a couple of days later from people saying like nothing happened. And after seeing the story time, which we're about to get into, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? When we do watch the story time, there was clearly some stuff from Ella's point of view that she wasn't comfortable with and wanted to leave, which is completely fair enough. But also, and I'm not saying this is Ella's intentions by any means, but the original video definitely painted more of a picture that people clearly ran with where they thought something like absolutely disastrous happened. I mean, there was one more video that was uploaded before we got the story time, and it's this one right here of Ella in the plane with some like music that says, probably needed a hug, snuck out of my host family's house to get one. So now let's get to the story time, right? So that original video went incredibly viral, 20 million views. Obviously people want to know what's happened. So Ella makes a 5-part series kind of going day by day of what happened. She was there for 5 days. She starts off by saying like, this is going to be the story time. She needs to get it off her chest.
It's a story time on how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. I just want to first say that I did not expect at all that video to do what it is doing right now. I'm like still in shock. I'm like really like don't know what is happening right now. This is gonna be multiple parts, so I'm sorry, but it has to be that way because I have a lot to say.
She then goes on to clarify that she didn't just go there for a vacation and kind of gives like a backstory of how this all happened.
This was not a vacation in my eyes. Like, I did not spend over $1,000 to fly there and back in less than a week. And I did my research, so all y'all can zip it. But we're going to start from the very beginning. If you don't know what an au pair is, it's basically someone that goes to live with a family in another country, and you either watch their kids, you do light housework, and in return you get food and board. So I met my host family on Au Pair World. This is something that I've seen a lot of people do. It's not an agency, so it's not like official. I didn't pay for anything. We didn't sign any contracts.
Ella then goes on to say that she found this listing for this family, got in contact with them, found out like what the work would entail.
Let's keep it going. So the host mom reached out to me. She said she liked my profile. She wanted to get to know me more, wanted to chat with me. I read over her profile, and on there were the things I would be doing. This included waking her son up, getting him changed, giving him his milk, walking him to school at 8:30, picking him up from school at 6, so he was in school all day long, and then heating up his dinner, and then I clean up after dinner.
And then Ella ends the video by saying like she had FaceTimed the mum to speak to her, they agreed that this was like a good fit for both of them. Ella then flies to Italy and again clarifies there was no contract in place or anything like that. Also, she was supposed to be there for about 3 months, obviously that ended up being 5 days. In the second video, Ella talks about the first day in Italy. So the host mum, as she calls her throughout this, meets her at the airport, everything's all good, and then Ella says the first red flag is that the host mum is kind of like putting her problems onto Ella, like venting about work.
So this is the first red flag. At lunch, she starts ranting to me about her job. Apparently, she had been moved to a different position that was like lower. I like honestly don't know. It was hard for me to understand a lot of the times. I just know that she was not happy. She got moved to a different position. But that was the first red flag. She already started putting her problems, like just ranting to me. And I had just got there.
Throughout this story time, we hear a lot about the host dad and the fact that he doesn't speak English, Ella doesn't speak Italian, so they can't really communicate. And a lot of times when like the host mum was at work, it would just be Ella and the host dad, and again, they can't communicate. So when they would have to go to the store with each other, for example, and maybe the host dad's like showing her how to use public transport, it's difficult because they can't communicate.
So after lunch, I settle in a little more, and then my host mom tells me to go with the host dad to the store so that I can get some food for breakfast and lunches for me. This is the second problem. This was a huge problem because the host dad spoke no English at all. He spoke as much English as I speak Italian, which is none. I can say ciao. This was like one of the main problems because they needed an au pair because the host dad is gone Monday through Thursday. He travels for his job, so he's gone Monday through Thursday. I was expecting the host mom to be teaching me these things, but instead I go to the store with the host dad. It's quite awkward because it's just silent. He can't speak to me, I can't communicate to him. When we're in the store, it's hard to communicate. We're just using Google Translate for everything. But we go to the store, we get the things we needed, and we get back home.
Again, we hear some more details about when like the host mum comes home from work and is like kind of like venting and isn't happy with work.
After the host child eats, I'm still playing with him. Host mom said she gets off of work 7:30, 8 at the latest, and we'd eat when she gets home, and she'd be cooking dinner for us every night. But about 9 o'clock, the host mom gets home from work. She doesn't seem happy about work and about her situation there. But I still didn't pick up these cues until a few days later.
And then it's starting to get a bit later. Ella's like thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to bed for the night, and then she is told that she has to bathe the child.
After I did everything, I thought I was good to go to bed. It was pretty late at this point, but I said I was going to bed, and she told me I needed to come bathe the host child. Which, one thing about me, I'm not good with confrontation, and I am not good at like sticking up for myself, so that was one of the issues as well, and that's on me. So I did it. I gave the host boy a bath. She like showed me how to do it, although I know how to bathe a child. She was just very particular about everything. Like everything had to be done her way, or just like you might as well just not even do it. So that was my first day. I finally went to bed.
Now Ella mentions this whole bathing thing quite a lot throughout this story time, and she says in these videos like that wasn't something that they agreed upon like originally. As we'll see later, there is a video from another TikToker who claims that they have seen the listing. I just want to say right now, I personally haven't seen the listing, so I don't know this for a fact. But we are going to see a video from a TikToker later who says that they found the listing. They're reading from something, reading a listing that mentions like bathing, and their whole response to this is that it was mentioned the whole time. But again, I don't know that for a fact by any means. In the next video, we hear some more problems with the language barrier. There's also this part of the story where like Ella's been texted from the host mum. Ella's saying that she was supposed to be at work at this point, so she was confused about this. Ella's then told like to go out, have a walk around the city, and she says that she was having a great time whenever she wasn't in the house.
So I took about a 2-hour nap, and I wake up to the host mom texting me, "Hi Ella, Where are you? So I get out of bed, I go into the kitchen, and she's there. Also, I didn't understand this because I thought she was supposed to be at work. Like, the things she says just aren't adding up. So she tells me that I should go walk around. So I'm like, okay, let me just get out. So I make myself some lunch and then I head out. This was my first full day in Milan. I did a vlog on it, so you can go look at that. You can see that I'm very happy. I was so happy when I was out of the house. I loved exploring the city I was in and I loved meeting new people, but when I was in the house I felt like trapped. I felt uncomfortable. It was just not what I was expecting at all.
We then hear more stuff about this like bathing situation. Ella goes on to say like that wasn't something that they agreed on.
They get back at like after 9:30. He doesn't have a far commute to work, so I was very confused about that part. Like, where did they go? Why did they leave me alone with him so long? When like I'm just learning and I barely learned anything because of this language barrier. I had to give him a bath again that night, which is fine. I would have done it and been happy doing it if it was what she had said I would be doing, but instead she said I would be cleaning up after dinner while she gives him a bath because she wants to spend time with him because she's at work all day.
We then get to day 3. We hear some more stuff about like a language barrier. The host dad has went out to try and like show how to use public transport, but it's hard to communicate because they can't speak to each other. Ella then goes on to talk about how she then went to go and meet up with her friends.
And she's the only one that speaks English. So we get back home. I had the day to myself. This was the day that I met up with the other girls and it was super fun. I vlogged that day as well. And around 2 o'clock, I text the host mom asking what time I should be home so that we can go pick up the host child. And she replies to me saying that the host dad's gonna pick him up and I didn't need to come home. Because again, normally I would have my Friday afternoons off. I hang out with my friends a little longer and then I walk home.
And then we hear the first of multiple instances where Ella talks about the host mum like raising her voice at Ella. So in this case, Ella says she's on the sofa reading her Kindle, the child's like playing or whatnot, and then the mum comes home.
Proceeds to raise her voice at me. She was not happy that I was sitting there reading. She asked me why the host dad was doing everything, why I wasn't helping him cook dinner, why I didn't bathe him, why I wasn't playing with him, why I wasn't cleaning up his toys, all of these things. And I was just honestly confused. I apologized because that's just what I do. I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, like, this is maybe a miscommunication. I thought that I had off. You had told me I didn't have to go pick him up from school. I'm sorry. And she kind of just said, like, you need to be paying attention, and then just walked away.
We then get to day 4. Ella says she was told by the host mum the day before that they need to be leaving the house no later than 9. Ella gets up early to get ready, but then the mum ends up waking up late.
Before, the host mom had told me we are leaving no later than 9 as it is a 2-hour drive to Portofino and we want to get there early. So she walks out of her room at a little past 9 in her pajamas. She had just gotten up, gotten out of bed. And honestly, this like really annoyed me because I was tired too. She had me up late the last night. She slept in and I was ready at 9. Okay. I didn't say anything. Of course I didn't.
And it's at this point that Ella says she realised that she needed to get out of there because, again, she says that the mum ended up raising her voice at her.
So the next part is where everything just changed for me and I realized I just needed to get out of there. We leave at around 8 p.m. The host dad pulls the car around. I get in the car. The host mom puts the host child in the seat and we get honked at because we're just sitting in the middle of the road. Duh. I would honk too. And immediately, the host mom snaps at me. She gets into the car, raises her voice at me again, saying that I wasn't paying attention, I haven't been helping at all today, and I'm not, like, learning. First off, I was pushing the stroller at least half that day. I held his hand. I carried him. I stayed back with him while they were way ahead of us. So I was paying attention. You were not paying attention. Just snaps at me, and I just wasn't understanding.
So she then decides that she needs to leave. She says that she didn't want to tell them that she was leaving. That's why she kind of like snuck out. She mentions the dad's job and said it was scary. Now, in a video that we'll see later where this TikTok is saying like they have found the listing, on there it says the dad's job is the military. But again, I don't know if that's 100% the listing. We don't hear the job in this, but we've got people saying that apparently it was a military.
So at this point, I decided I wanted to leave. I changed my flight to the next day. I do want to say I didn't tell them that I wanted to leave for multiple reasons. One, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't necessarily feel safe. Two, the host dad's job, I'm not gonna say a lot of details. It was something in a field that like made me uncomfortable and kind of made me a little bit scared. and I didn't know how she would react. I decided that I just needed to get out of the house. I felt super trapped.
We then hear another instance where Ella says that the mum raised her voice at her because apparently Ella fell asleep in the back of the car and the mum was annoyed that she wasn't like helping out with the kid.
So I fall asleep in the car, and then the host mom wakes me up, and she turns around, she raises her voice again and starts telling me that I need to be reading to the host child, I need to be teaching him English, interacting with him, and again paying attention. At this point, again, I was just so tired. I had a massive headache. I just wanted to get out of there.
And then ends the video by saying that she left the next morning because she felt like trapped and uncomfortable.
That night is the night that I packed everything back up, and then in the morning, as y'all saw, I left. That is why I left. I did feel very uncomfortable there. I felt trapped. I had a really bad gut feeling. I just needed to get out, and that's my reasoning to why I had to leave.
So that was kind of the end of the story time. We do have quite a few videos to watch through, like, after the story time is posted, but people clearly weren't too impressed with it. I think that's fair to say. I mean, if we look at the comments on this video, it says stuff like, scared because of his job, girl be for real. There's another comment here saying the lack of resiliency, resourcefulness, and unwillingness / patience to adapt to another culture you chose of your own free will to enter into are pretty troubling. Again, another comment saying, 1, you sound entitled, 2, you were there to do a job when the mum wakes up and goes to work isn't your concern, 3, you complain about spending half a day with a child you were hired to take care of, and another comment saying, no offense, but effing they are telling you to do is your job. So clearly, people weren't too impressed. There definitely were some people in the comments that were on Ella's side, right? Like there's this one here that said she got yelled at on Friday evening for relaxing when she was supposed to have it off. Y'all listen. Another comment here saying, how is no one seeing her side of things? On her days off, they took her out for the day, but still expected her to look after the child the whole day. In addition to this, she was not aware the host, and then the comment cuts off. This happens a lot on the desktop version. It's actually quite annoying, but yeah, the comment cuts off for some reason. Now let's talk about this listing. So there's a creator called Shay Whiteboard Girl who has about 400,000 followers on TikTok who has made a few videos talking about this situation. Now, in the second video that Shay uploaded, she claims that she has found the listing. The problem is here, we don't actually see the listing on screen. It is just her reading, and again, I can't confirm if this is definitely the listing. But this is what Shay is claiming was the listing and what it said.
Girl was actually in the wrong. Let's get into it. Tomorrow, it will post a video where it's like more concise. So basically, the profile says, are you ready to come to Milan? We are a modern, welcoming family looking for an au pair to join us and help our son. He is now 3.5 years old and is cheerful, lively child who loves to play and explore the world around him. To note, the parents are hot. The child is beautiful. They are like athletic, fit people. I want to go work for them.
And this is where we find out that the husband was potentially in the military. Again, can't confirm this 100%, but this is what Shay says.
I work as a strategic project manager in a food company, so good food is always an important part of our home. My husband, blank, is often away on weekends due to military commitments, so having extra pair of hands, especially in the afternoons and evenings, would be very helpful. This girl in her videos was like, oh my god, the dad, he works such a scary job. That's why I didn't want to like confront them. And then she was always complaining about the whole fucking dinner. Like, why is he making food? These people, after I read their profile, they are like health people. Like, they love to cook. They pre-made the meals. This girl had the fucking easiest job ever.
We then hear what apparently the main responsibilities were that were listed on this listing.
Your main responsibilities during the weekdays will be, so this is where the girl, she goes, I had Fridays off and the weekends off and afternoons off. This girl did not read the job description the way she should have. So she goes, accompany blank child to school in the morning and picking him up at 6 p.m. except Friday at 4 p.m. So that's how I fucking knew this was the same person. So playing with him in the afternoons until dinner, which the girl did not do, and she complained about that. Assisting with dinner, bath time, and bedtime routine, which the girl was like, why am I doing bath time? Girl, the fucking job description was right here. In addition to childcare, we asked your help with some light daily household tasks. She was like, why did they expect me to like lift a finger? I'm here on vacation. Girl.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say, you can probably get the vibe of this video, that Shay definitely disagrees with Ella's take on this whole situation. I mean, she does quite literally say quite a few times in this video that Ella was just in the wrong.
So, yeah, her whole thing, she was in the wrong. The American girl was in the wrong, and I was on her side initially. I was like, the woman was rude, but after reading this job description, I was like, girl, All you had to do was your job.
Okay, so again, just want to make it crystal clear, I do not know if that was 100% the listing, right? That is the video that's been uploaded talking about it. Now, obviously at this point, Ella is getting a lot of criticism for this story time, right? So she's uploaded quite a few videos at this point, kind of wanting to respond to stuff, right? So she makes this video that says, let's clear some things up.
So first, I just wanted to say, when I posted that video, I had a little over 1,000 followers. I did not expect anything to come from it, maybe get 500 views, 1,000 views, and it's now.
I mean, that's pretty crazy to be fair, right? She had like, what, 1,000 followers before that video, and now she has like 70-odd thousand, so I mean, that shows kind of how big the situation got. Ella then talks about how the original video didn't really have much context to it, and people like made up stories in the head.
And when I posted that video, like, it has no context. There's nothing, like, I don't say why I'm sneaking out, I don't say what's happening, like, I'm literally sneaking out and then in the airport for the whole video. So there's like nothing, I don't know why it took off like it has, but so many people have just made up their own story in their heads, and then when they asked for a story time and I told my story time, it didn't match up with their story in their head, and so they were mad about it. So I'm sorry that you guys made up a story in your head and it didn't match up with what actually happened, but I wasn't gonna lie and say something that didn't happen. I told you what happened, I told you I was uncomfortable and didn't feel safe, so that's why I left.
Ella then goes on to clarify that she did actually message the host mum, but it wasn't until she got to the airport, but we don't hear what the response was.
Because I do love a good routine. Also say that I did send the host mom a text as soon as I got to the airport and as soon as I felt safe. I sent her a text. I explained that I didn't appreciate the way she was talking to me. I didn't feel comfortable in the house.
In another video, Ella responds to comments of people saying that she is privileged.
I'm also getting a lot of people telling me that I'm privileged. And yes, if privilege means having a roof over my head, I'm privileged to stay with my parents, to have my stomach full at each meal, then yes, I'm privileged. But my parents don't buy me anything. I pay for my own flights, my own clothing, my own yummy special drinks that I go get at Starbucks or Dunkin'. They don't give me things like that, and I'm grateful for that because I've learned to work and earn it for myself. So yeah.
At the end of the video, Ella then goes on to talk about some videos that are going to be posted on this account soon, which involve like Disney and a cruise, and the main reason I'm showing this because the main comments on this video is about this part.
I am going to Disney at the end of this month, and then we have a cruise coming up, which is going to be super, super fun. We have a few fun things coming up, but until then, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see.
And like I said, there's a lot of comments in this video talking about that bit specifically, like this comment here saying, I'm confused. You were supposed to be in Italy for 3 months, but now a cruise and Disney trip is planned this month, lol. Another comment here saying, how do you have a cruise booked if you were supposed to be in Italy for 3 months? So I guess like people are taking this as Ella just wanted to go for a holiday and was always going to come back early, is what I'm getting from it. But obviously it is very possible that these things could have been booked once she was back home. That is possible. And now in the last video that Ella uploaded about this situation, she mentions the fact that she is getting a lot of hate.
In my last video around this topic, I kind of honestly am done with it at this point, but I'm getting a ridiculous amount of hate and rude comments when none of you guys were in my shoes or felt the way I felt. Some of the comments I do agree with, the ones that are nice, but also critiquing me a little bit, because I know that yes, was I a little bit immature and ran away when I could have talked to the family? Maybe I was. Was I a little bit dramatic? Probably. But what's done is done. I can't take back anything that happened. I felt unsafe for whatever my reasons were, and I decided to do what I did. If you don't agree, that's okay. It's my first time going through life just like you guys, and I make mistakes, so I will say that I definitely made some mistakes in that situation. I probably was not prepared.
And then ends the video by saying that she is done with the situation, and if you were someone who was watching her content just to hate, then you should leave.
I just want to say that I'm done talking about this situation. If you're following me and leaving terrible hate comments about me, first of all, you don't know anything about me, which is okay, I understand, but I don't understand why you're being mean to me. I don't really know what I did to you. But yeah, if you're following me and leaving hate comments, please just unfollow me.
And yeah, that is pretty much the whole situation, right? So it starts off with this big viral video, the story time comes out about the viral video, and people clearly aren't too happy with it, right? And I think genuinely the main problem here is the original video. Obviously, judging from it, the way she's saying, like, I need to sneak out at 5 o'clock in the morning, I was trying to get out of the gates and stuff. People saw that video and probably assumed, like, Ella was in, like, serious danger. And the actual reality of it from the story time is that she wasn't comfortable being there, and she was being, like, shouted at, or, like, a voice was raised at her, like, telling her to do stuff that she didn't feel like she had to be doing. So she wanted to leave. She wasn't comfortable. Which again, if she's not comfortable in the place that she's living, she has every right to leave, right? But I guess that original video probably didn't help in terms of like the public opinion. And clearly a lot of other people think that she was being like over dramatic in the way that she left, like sneaking out instead of talking to the family. But at the end of the day, none of us were there. We don't know exactly what happened, right? All we have heard is a story time from one person. We don't have all the sides. I mean, you got to take it kind of with what we've been told here. And with that being said, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. What are just your thoughts in general on this whole situation? And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you're interested in different type of videos that I make, me and my girlfriend Emily upload on another channel where we do like reality show reactions, gaming, and just anything that we find funny. So that'll be linked in the description. It's always linked in the description. So if you want to check that out, that will be there. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.